My addiction, I have actually a primary addiction and a secondary addiction. So my primary addiction is food. It's probably something that I was always addicted to, although when I was a child, I never showed it uh, on my person. But I can tell you, I can show you some pictures. Like that's me, probably looking good.
Wow.
That was the best I could look.
Yes.
But this thing took me, and I didn't even know what was going on with me. This is a picture of me at 386 pounds.
Could you put that a little closer to the camera, please?
Yeah,
There you go.
386 pounds.
Wow.
And that's just that picture was taken like that because I was going into an eating disorder clinic
Mm.
at a hospital. And at that time in 19, I think it was 1997, the idea back then, well, they didn't even talk about what was going on with me in terms of addiction. They talked about it as a habit. Okay, so the idea was that if I ate the food that they told me to eat for 6 weeks, I would break the habit and I would be cured. Well, today we know that that's not true, and that it definitely is an addiction. Um, that's probably me close to my highest weight there, probably about 400 pounds.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, so this is me after the eating disorder thing. I got down to um, 260, and not because I was in that, because that was only 6 weeks, but I made a deal with the hospital so I could still eat the food, and I did that for about 4.5 months. As crazy as that sounds, traveling to and from the hospital 3 times a day because I was at my wit's end with this. So I didn't know what to do. So the thing is, I didn't realize that I was spiritually sick, and I really, really had contempt for people, you know. And today I understand that God reveals Himself through people, and there's so much love in my heart for people, but not back then, you know. I was like a disciple of Howard Stern in a lot of ways because, Howard's transformed himself a lot in the last 5 years. But back then, in like the late '90s, early 2000s, he would brag about how God is to um, adults what Santa Claus is to children. He did not believe in God. I'm not sure about today because I don't follow him. I don't have that desire, even though I have Sirius Satellite and I could follow him. I'm just not into that anymore. I like to start my day off with quiet. I need to meditate. I need to read. I need to slow my mind down. Like that's so important for me, and it goes to that's a big reason why I'm able to keep my weight relatively low. Like I was as high as 418, and today I'm 175 pounds. I'm 5'6". Uh, Maybe I could do with losing some more weight, but I have gone down as low as 165, and it just wasn't manageable for me. So I came back up. I eat in such a way that today the food brings me to the right weight. So I don't even have to weigh myself. Like I just have to know that I eat weight and measured meals because, like I said before, the difference between the alcohol and the food is that with alcohol, I have an internal gauge that says you've had enough. That's it. But with food, I can eat all day. When I was at my worst, I was like eating food not only addictively, but I used it as a drug. And the reason I did that was because it was a coping mechanism for me. I couldn't cope with life. I was restless, irritable, discontent, and that's how it manifested itself.
Mm.
Was with me. just going to town with food, and I did it all day. And might sound gross, but I have to say it. I would have an incredible, like, this to me blows my mind today when I think about it. I would have an incredible 3 bowel movements a night, man. Like, we're talking like 3 o'clock, get up again, go again, 5 o'clock, get up again, go again. Because I had so much food inside me that had to get out, that's what was going on with me, man. Like, it was crazy. It was crazy. And I mentioned the 7 years that it took me. Like, I knew what to do to get help, but I didn't do it probably because of arrogance, probably because I viewed myself like a god, in the sense that I can take care of anything and I don't need anybody's help. So as a consequence, I suffered immensely because of that. Because today I know that I'm fallible. Like, I need people, I need help, I need to talk. I don't have all the answers, and I need people in my life. I need to communicate. I can't. It is something that isolation. When I'm isolating, this thing the disease loves. Addiction loves when you isolate, because it's got itself, and like, it's got you right where, and you don't have any help, right? And with God today, I feel like I don't have to do a thing. God is going to take care of this thing for me. I just have to do my part, which is very little, right? Like I mentioned before, it's the weighing and the measuring of the food, because I have no gauge. So I need to weigh and measure. And I just need to pray. I need to read. I need to talk to people. And I just need to love. And one thing that I used to do, I was very negative before. The big difference between then and now, I would say, is that I go in giving people the benefit of the doubt. I go in loving. I go in trying to understand. And even though the old me is in the back of my mind, like, the old me is still there. Like, I will have that split-second thought, negative thought, right? But most of the times I found out that if you're patient enough and you're loving enough and people can communicate with you, you'll find that all the reasons why people are the way they are have nothing to do with me, and still I get into it. Like, I had this bank, like, he's a mortgage guy, and he was really dropping the ball a lot on a lot of things that needed to be done. And I would talk to my son, who's he's in the banking business. Yeah, I'm just gonna finish with this. He's in the banking business, and he's like, no, he's like, I'm sure he's not doing it on purpose. But I'm like, he's doing it on purpose. He and he's like, no, I'm sure he's just incompetent. He's not doing it on purpose. So I'll end with that. Yeah.